unveiled a new set of UI icons a few months ago, and now that we've had time to let them really get settled in, let's dive into it because Airbnb did something really special here. They finally ditched the tech world's obsession with flat, boring, lookalike design and brought in something we haven't seen in years. A little touch of skeuomorphism. Today we're looking at Airbnb's bold new icons, why they matter, how skeuomorphism is back and smarter than ever, and why we need moves like this to push the design industry forward. But before we get into it, be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, leaving a comment, and of course, by subscribing. This is Ziggy the Designer, the show where we talk about the world of graphic design and the people who make it move. Design is all around us, so we might as well talk about it. So here's the deal. If you haven't seen it yet, Airbnb rolled out a new set of skeuomorphic icons to introduce their new features in homes, experiences, and services. But these aren't your typical system icons. These are gorgeous little 3D diorama style, isometric design style icons, right? Glossy, shadowed, fully rendered, like little pieces of UI candy. They've got texture, they've got depth, and even a little bit of lighting play to them as well. They feel like something between, a Pixar and a next-gen emoji set. And the goal with these is to bring, emotion and clarity into the Airbnb interface. These are icons that give users a feeling of what it's like to stay at a certain property or to go to a certain restaurant, right? And honestly, they nailed the look here. These are the most scroll-stopping visuals I've seen in an app in a long time. Compared to the flat, corporate feeling that we see from brands like Google Maps or Booking.com, these icons are visual magic. So why did Airbnb introduce these new icons? Well, as we mentioned earlier, these icons come with Airbnb's new experiences and services feature where users can explore things to do in certain destinations. Think restaurants, hair salons, etc. These icons are meant to bring that feeling of immersive experiences into the app through their 3D realistic look and feel. And now for the younger designers in the back, or to the folks who just blacked this out, we need to talk about skeuomorphism for a second. Skeuomorphism is when you design digital things to look like the real world. Back in the early 2010s, it was the dominant look in software design. Remember the early, leather-bound calendar on iOS, or the yellow legal pad on the Notes app, the bookshelf and iBooks. That was all skeuomorphism. It was warm, it was familiar, and also over time, it became cluttered and bloated. So around 2013, with the rise of Apple's iOS 7, we moved into flat design. Think clean lines, minimal icons, no depth. And the world never looked back. Every brand jumped on the train. Spotify, Airbnb, Microsoft. But now, skeuomorphism is making a quiet comeback, and it's doing it in a much smarter, more restrained way. Not as a decoration, not as, a nostalgic reference, but as a way to make interfaces feel human again. Airbnb isn't just being cute with these new icons. They're showing us what design looks like after minimalism, after this wave of flat design. And that's the space where great brands start to innovate again. And let's be real, right? This shouldn't work, especially in tech, where clean, minimal design is absolutely praised. This shouldn't work. These icons break every modern UI rule. They're not ultra scalable. They're not, immediately readable. But do you know what they are? They're richly styled. They're full of detail. They're memorable. They're expressive. They're scroll stopping. And in an app like Airbnb, that is everything. When you're scrolling through 40 listings in 2 minutes, these icons don't just help categorize, they help sell the experience, and that's where Airbnb is flexing its design muscle. These aren't just playful product features, right? These are part of the brand voice. They feel global, they feel playful, they feel warm, exactly what Airbnb should be. Look at what the rest of tech is doing. Google's icons, right? They're all centered around the Google Drive system, right? They all feel the same. Uber, it's so minimal, you can't even tell one product from another. And with Meta, let's not even dive into that rabbit hole. Airbnb zagged when everyone zigged, and I respect that. Do they run the risk of being a little corny? Yeah, sure. Could it confuse a few users? Yeah, maybe, but let me tell you something. Good design doesn't always play it safe. It makes you feel something, and these icons, they're not just functional, they are emotional. You want to check out the hot new restaurant with the, bowl of noodles icon because it feels cozy. You want to check out the new spa with the, massage table icon because it feels relaxing. Airbnb turned their interface into a conversation, and that's what design is supposed to do. It feels warm. It has a personality. It communicates joy, all in 80 by 80 pixels. This is what design after minimalism looks like, and I am 100% here for it. But how do you feel about Airbnb's new icons? Are they too much, or is this the kind of bold move we need more of in modern design? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. That's all I have for you. Be sure to support the show by giving this episode a like, subscribing, and of course by sharing this one out. I've been Ziggy the Designer. If there are 2 things you need to know about me, it's that 1, I love design. And 2, I'm very opinionated. I'll talk with y'all later. Bye-bye.